You are betting your life on the fact that you are going to be successful at growing things out there. I'd like to introduce everybody to our registered Jersey milk cow, Malibu. One person asked, what's some of the best advice you can give someone that's just starting out? Well, look at what grows best in your area. You know, if your neighbor has successful asparagus or rhubarb or raspberries, go over there at night, pick some up and bring it and put it in your garden. Going out, yes sir.
What was the name of it again?
Can you Google this? Antona
Cova.
Antona Cova, is that what it is?
Yeah.
I think we can get some.
You Googling it?
Yeah, well, no, I'm gonna write it down. Thank you.
Alright, now you messed me up.
Sorry.
Where was I going with this? Edible perennials, things that are easy to cultivate. You get a little bit of everything started as you're going along through your adventure of homesteading. These are just things that you can all fit in the same area, and they will all, kind of, edge out the other stuff. So now we have a rhubarb bed. We installed, just did a video, I called it Introduction to Permaculture. And it shows 10 years of our experimentation with a crop that will yield 1 pound per square foot, or 40,000 pounds per acre. And if you can get $2 a pound for it retail, okay, you're looking at $80,000 an acre for your rhubarb. I want to plant oregano in between my rhubarb plants. All right, and then in between those, I'm going to space fruit trees. I'm going to plant my apples, my plums, and my pears, and cherry trees. Because by the time that your fruit trees are starting to blossom out, your rhubarb is almost ready to pick. And if we're picking at the end of May, the leaves are starting to be on the trees, you get your whole crop of rhubarb, and you still have the entire rest of your season for your fruit trees. And if you know anything about rhubarb, it's best just to pick it all to the ground. And now you have your oregano planted in between the rhubarb, which acts as a ground cover, so now you're not picking weeds. All right, so then we had to go and one up that, and we planted elderberry in between the fruit trees. Elderberry is shade tolerant and it's semi-invasive. So as your fruit trees mature and they develop a canopy and they start shading everything out, you may not get a second picking of your rhubarb. But your elderberry is still going to be productive even from the beginning and all the way into 20 years or 25 years of having your fruit tree crops start to come in. You haven't been waiting for your fruit tree crop. You've been picking your rhubarb, you've been harvesting your oregano. It doesn't have to be oregano, it could be mint, it could be any other type of herbs or edible perennials. But the point with that is to maximize your space. That if you're going to be successful at anything that you do on your farm, it's better to take a much smaller chunk and be a professional. Don't ever go out there, and this goes back into safety, don't ever be half-hearted. This is family friendly, so don't be out there just doing it because, oh, I want to have a garden this year. No, that garden needs to sustain you. It must be successful. When you take the time to dig up a rhubarb plant and divide it and go and make another bed, it must be successful. You are betting your life on the fact that you are going to be successful at growing things out there. So take the time and do a really good job. I know, I got it down there. I bought $0 of fertilizer. I put $0 of diesel in my tractor, and whatever I gained from that is, if you're talking about profit margin, if you put $0 in and you get $10 out, okay, that's an incredible profit margin versus putting in $1,000 in and getting $1,200 out. Because a lot of guys are out there this year struggling with crops because they have incredible inputs. So People that are self-employed or entrepreneurial are 4 times as likely to die in their occupation. So if you're doing it for yourself, you are much more likely to die from that than someone else that's working for someone else. Why? Because you're out there trying harder. You're working longer hours. So I'm getting hungry, and I know my pigs are getting hungry. There is red wattle, there's pasture-raised red wattle breed pork in that Nesco back there.